Hey everyone, thank you for checking out another Quickie Jamie TV episode. This episode is going to continue immediately on from the one that I just made, because as soon as I finished it I thought, I could do more with this. So I was talking about the multi-bus out facility that's now available in RuseMaker, and what I'm going to do is now I'm going to talk about the multi-bus out from Multitrack. And I'm going to use the drums that we were working with in the last episode to create some audio so that I can demonstrate it. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to go and click record next to each of these 8 RuseMaker drum tracks. Now when I press record at the top of AUM or AUM here, just make sure we've returned to 0 there. We're going to record 8 stems of drums. So each recording will just have 1 drum on it. If that's not massively clear, maybe watch the other video first and come back to this one. Okay, so let's press record. Okay, that'll do me. I only need like 8 bars to demonstrate this. So if I now go to this folder over here, so we go to files and we go down to the folders at the bottom where your recordings end up, going to 8 bar loop, which I've forgotten how to talk. We're going to 8 bar loop, which is what I've called the project. You'll see here we have got 8 different recordings. Now I can now close off all these instances of RuseMaker, because there's no point having apps open that we no longer need, because it just uses CPU. So let's get rid of some apps. Okay, now that's closed all the instances of RuseMaker down. Now what I need is I need Multitrack open. So I go to add here and audio. Now if we were recording an instrument into Multitrack, which if you've not looked at Multitrack before, it's basically like a mini DAW that you can insert into different applications. So if I was, say, recording my guitar into Multitrack, the way I would do that is I'd go to this plus at the top of the channel, I'd go to hardware input, and I usually bring my guitar in on this particular channel, and then I would add Multitrack just here. That's how we get the audio into Multitrack. But for this particular purpose, what we do is add Multitrack up here. There we are, Multitrack. Okay, now I'm going to go into Multitrack, and we're going to need this in host sync mode. Just expand it out a little bit. Right, now I've got an empty project down here. I'm going to go to my audio pool and import. Now this is going to take me to my files app where I can find the. This is not a very good demonstration because it's actually gone straight into the folder that I need, which is good for me, but I just wanted to show that that if I just right, so it takes you into your folders, or you can go to Dropbox or OneDrive or whatever, etc., etc., to get files that you want to import into Multitrack. But what I wanted to point out is that files that you record in AUM will actually be in your audio share folder. So if I click on here, audio share files, and AUM recordings, there we are, 8 bar loop, Right, now if I press select, I can import as many as I want at the same time. So I'm just going to select all of these drum stems and then open, and these will now all be in the audio pool of multitrack. Although I can't see them, let's have a little scroll down. Oh, there's one there, look. There we are. Right, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag these onto the tracks that I want them on. Okay, now with that done, I can now close the audio pool, and I've dragged my 8 bits of drum audio onto the 8 tracks available in multitrack. And if I press play, if I return to 0 there, I've now got drums, real audio drums, playing from multitrack. But of course, this is just going out down one channel. Now, let's have 8 channels of separate drum track so that we can mix properly and add individual AUV3 effects to each drum. We're going to multitrack, and if you see here right at the top where it says effects, if I click on that, you'll see that underneath the you see the coloured squares here, the track names, which I haven't labelled, which I'm itching to do, but I want this to be a quick video, so I'll not waste your time. Right, so I'm going to click effects, and underneath those coloured squares, if I just in the drop down list select output bus, you'll see the name of the bus, right? So everything's going out on bus 1, so let's go change those all to separate buses. There, okay, now we've got 8 separate outs. Bus 1 is the instance of multitrack that we have open. So now, I guess, I've not tested this, but I guess if I press play now, we'll just have a kick. Right, okay, just a kick. So let's now go to the little plus sign, go to audio, and if we drop down to multibus audio unit instances, you'll see that multitrack is in there. And just like I did in the last video with RuseMaker, we just go and add 8 instances of that, and you'll see a number appearing next to each one, just so that we know which one is which. Okay, so now we have 8 different output buses, and so each bit of audio that is sat inside multitrack there is going out on a different fader. So now we can, well, let's press play, let's make sure it's worked. In fact, let me just prove to you that it's worked. If I go into multitrack and take host sync off, I should be able to just make a nice little loop here, there, and where's the loop? Oh yeah, there we go. We'll press that, and now put host sync back on, and that should loop round for us so that I can just demonstrate this next thing. Right, so I'm just going to mute each of the channels. Right, and back over here. Right, now return to 0, press play. We've just got kick, and if I take the mute off Second track, we've got a snare, and now we've got a clap on 3. The toms are on 4, 5 and 6, and the hats are on 7 and 8. It didn't loop. I'm not sure why it didn't loop for me. Maybe it doesn't do that when you're synced up. I'll have a look at that. But anyway, I won't bore you with that. So I hope that's helpful and useful to you in some way. I mean, you know, the next step for me now with this little track I'm working on is I'll go to each fader and mix those drums, and I'll add some effects in there. And now that I'm working with real audio, you know, I'll sort of start adding my EQ and compression, and then take it from there. Who knows what will happen with the track next. If this video was useful to you, please give me a like, subscribe, ding my bell, maybe check out the information below the video and have a look at my Patreon. And if you'd like to help me out in any way financially, seeing as I'm a full-time pro musician who's in lockdown and hasn't worked for quite some time now, the PayPal ME details are down below. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, see you soon.